But now let's discuss why I'm okay with the decision that I made to private the first 100 episodes of this podcast, even though last week I shared information from Todd B from YouTube that deleting or privating a video is bad for your channel because it deletes the connection to the people who viewed that video. I am okay with this decision for a number of reasons. Number one, I had no idea about this when I initially made that decision and took that action. That was maybe 3 years ago. I just found out about this 2 weeks ago. So I could not have acted on this information because I didn't know it. I don't think anybody really knew it except for the people at YouTube, except for Todd B, who just shared it a couple of weeks ago. So I could not have acted on this new information because it's new information. New information has come to light, man. So that's reason one. I had no idea. You can't retroactively change your behavior based on information you get in the future. Number two, all of those videos were on a different channel. Those were podcast episodes that were hosted on Geeks Rising. I was no longer uploading to Geeks Rising. None of the other shows were uploading to the Geeks Rising YouTube channel. So there was no activity on that channel really, so by privating those videos, I don't think it caused any direct harm. If I was still uploading to that channel, if any of the other shows were still uploading to that channel, perhaps I would look back on that action and regret it because it may have harmed the performance of new uploads, but because nobody else was really uploading or creating content there, I don't regret that action because it didn't harm anything. The only thing that stopped getting views were the videos that I privated. And the final and primary reason why I'm okay with this is this podcast is just a hobby for me. This is something that I do for fun, and I very rarely, if ever, focus on the performance. I don't care how many views an episode gets. I don't care how many downloads an episode gets. What I do care about is I am happy with the final output, and what I care about is that people get value out of it. If my action by privating these episodes did harm the performance of this channel on YouTube, so be it. I am fine with that. If it harms the downloads on the audio podcast, so be it. I am fine with that because at the end of the day, I need to be comfortable with the content that I'm publishing and the content that I have published. If I am uncomfortable with how much I swore in the early episodes, if I'm uncomfortable with how much personal information I shared in the early episodes, I don't care if it's going to impact the performance. I am going to private those videos because this is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to cause me worry. It's not supposed to cause me concern. And in the early episodes, if I swore too much or shared too much and that makes me uncomfortable, I don't care how the action will impact the performance of this show. I'm going to private those videos because I need to be comfortable with what I am doing. Let me convey that message. You should not feel an obligation to keep everything you have published live, even though we got this information from YouTube. If something you have published in the past does not reflect you, feel free to private it or delete it. If something you have done in the past makes you uncomfortable, feel free to private it or delete it. Do not let the tweet that I shared from Todd force you into a position where you leave something up that makes you uncomfortable, where you leave something up that doesn't reflect you, where you leave something up that has bad information just to save that connection with the viewer. Who cares? You need to be comfortable with what you publish, what you have published. So that is what you should focus on. Yes, if you can stop yourself from privating or deleting a video, do it. That will save the connection to your viewer. But if that video existing does make you uncomfortable, it has bad information, or it doesn't reflect you, private it. Delete it. Who cares? I deleted 100 episodes of this show. I sleep like a baby at night. I don't care. Although I am going to go back and re-listen to those episodes to see what I said, what helpful information could be in an episode about Pebble watches, because Pebble watches don't exist anymore. But thank you very much for your question or your insight here. I really appreciate it. I also enjoyed getting on my soapbox for a little bit and sharing my perspective a bit more on this topic, because on the last episode, maybe it came across as nobody should ever delete anything on YouTube ever, which is not the case. You need to be able to sleep at night. Do whatever makes you comfortable. Who cares what Todd says? Just understand how it's going to impact your channel. And when I did it, I had no idea this was a thing. That is my get out of jail free card. Thank you very much, Axe19 Quiz. I appreciate the comment very much.